Welcome back to Salty 7, and we are in Memphis, baby.
Yes.
So why are we in Memphis, Josh?
Well, we're headed to the Nashville Dr. Joe Dispenza retreat.
Nashville! So I heard it's going to be the biggest event in the nation this year.
Yep, that's what I'm hearing. Over 2,000 people.
Over 2,000. Holy, that's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were kind of chatting about what we were going to do for this event and talking about the importance of maybe setting a overarching intention, before you go to the event. And so I'd like to ask you, what's your big intention for this retreat?
Well, I was thinking about this. I guess this is my fifth retreat.
Sixth, actually.
Sixth.
We've both been to 5. This is our 6th.
Yes, sixth retreat in.
And you're volunteering at this one.
Yep, in 10 months. And I was driving up and I was thinking about what do I want to attend? What is my intention going to be? I want to try. I started having all these ideas like, okay, I know this is going to happen, so I want to be able to do this. I want to do that. And I had to take this moment and just say, "What, Josh? What are you doing? Like, why?" Why are you trying?
Let go, surrender.
Why are you trying? Like, here you are, you're super excited. There's like all these synchronicities. I'm driving. I'm coming from North Texas. The trees start coming in. It's beautiful, and I thought to myself, why am I going to try to control outcomes again?
Yeah.
And so then I just came back to the basics. Like Dr. Joe says, what do I know? What do I know? And what I thought is like, well, really, honestly, I don't know any. I don't want to know anything. And every experience I've had has always been the first experience. Like first time you see the ocean, first time that you try some food, first time for everything. And so I said, I want to set aside everything that I think I know about Dr. Joe retreats. I want to set aside everything I think I know about volunteering. I want to set aside everything I think I know about meditation, the work, the mystical energy, and I just want to go in with a new set of eyes and have that first time experience. And so I was like, I'm just going to show up, do the best I can, and be coachable and teachable, and and that works for me. That works for me. So my intention is to be able to all the work that I've integrated, all of the everything I'm doing at this point, and just to set aside and be enjoy. So enjoy.
I like that. And I was kind of talking to you just on the drive up here to Memphis, and I was like, I really don't know what I want, what my intention should be. And I was kind of talking it out loud, and I realized, and I even kind of said it to you on the phone, I was like, I realized I'm not really jumping in with both feet. I still feel like I've got some things that I'm holding on to, some reservations, some fears maybe, some lack of trust in the universe. And I said, maybe that's what my intention should be, is just, I'm going to jump all in. It's like I got one foot in and half the other foot or something, and it's like, and I'm just being honest, and I think we all have a little bit of that, a little bit of reservation. And so it's like, why not? And I've thought about that. You've said things to me in private. Other people have said things to me in private. And it's like, the universe has never let us down.
Nope.
If you take time and really sit with yourself and go back and think about all of your life experiences. Now, some of them may have been hard, right? But the outcome has always worked out. And so it's like, you're talking about going in to the unknown, trying to make it truly unknown again. Like, you're not going to go in with any preconceived notions or thoughts of what it was like from before to make it fresh and new again. And I was thinking about that with just our lives. It's like really getting into the unknown, really stepping in and just letting go. And I also wanted to kind of talk about setting intentions. Why do we do that, And at first it's kind of like, well, you'd say the universe is just going to do it. Well, the more I think about this and the more I learn, it's like the universe needs us to create. We are truly creators of our own life. So you can't just sit around with a blank canvas and wait for the universe to start drawing a picture on it. You have to start. You have to create something, create the momentum, right? And then the universe comes in and provides reality. And so I think do you agree with that?
Yes, absolutely. And Dr. Joe talks about, how when we get up in the morning, how am I going to, mind map my day? How am I going to mental rehearse my day? If I mental rehearse what I've always done, I'm going to get what I always get.
That's right.
But if I can mental rehearse my day, it also helps me to see myself in conversations, see myself having these interactions. Specifically, the intention helps my attitude, because my attitude creates lift, right? So if it creates lift, and if my attitude is down, it's gonna create me to go into a negative energy, a negative mood. Dr. Joe talks about our emotions, our moods, our temperaments, which ends up into our personalities or personal realities. So I want to set that intention. How is Josh going to show up today? Josh is going to show up with a good attitude, and joy, appreciation, and gratitude, and surrendering to that unknown. Because what surrendering is for me is stop resisting the universe. And just like you said, that's a great question. Why do we resist the universe? Everything is happening for us, not to us. It's happening for us. So every time I'm trying to resist that, I'm creating suffering.
Yep.
And there's no reason to resist.
Do you feel the energy building already?
Yes. Me and Kyle planned to come here, and where we hadn't planned, they were going to stay somewhere else, and I was coming to Memphis. They were going to be a little shy in Memphis, so we were like, let's just meet up. And so we did, and it was hailing, and actually we went and had dinner. We walked outside. We were visiting. We had some Mediterranean food. It was amazing. And we come outside and we're visiting, and all of a sudden it just
blew in. Yeah, it was like.
but the first part is also we said I think Cheryl said something about enlightened, and then the lights went out in the whole platform, or it was in a shopping mall center, so all the lights went out, just went black, and then the lights came back on, and then this massive gust.
Yep, and then we came to the hotel, and we're busy checking in, and then it just started pouring, and then just a fiasco kind of ensued around all that. And I was thinking about that. I want to get to the other part of the hail part of the story, but just a little side note, it's like heart-brain coherence. So here I am, 5 kids and rain, and got all these cars, like people just going crazy because weather makes people go crazy, and so I'm like just, and I'm like, so I started thinking, like, how can I have heart-brain coherence in this moment, and so we kind of talked about that too briefly earlier. It's like, how long do you choose to stay in that?
Yes.
And so, like, I'm in heart-brain coherence now. I didn't let that event, and then there was, we had a few little snafus, in the reservation, checking in, and I just told the guy later, I said, you know what, man, he's like, I apologize. And I said, man, small fry. Why get all bent out of shape? It's just a stupid room for one night. You know what I mean? So anyway, let's go back to the hail story, because so we finished all the check-in process. You jumped in the truck with me, and we're pulling around to a parking spot. Still pouring rain, mind you. As soon as I'm backing into the spot, ding, tick, 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 tick. I'm like, that's hail. You're like, yeah, that's hail. We're like, oh, man, what dings on the car. And so I said, oh, let's manifest it going away. And so you're over there, and I just kind of did one of these. I don't know why. This is how I felt to do it. I put my hands up, and I kind of look kind of this way, and I just start thinking, hail's going away. Hail's going away. And then I just started to get this smile on my face, and I'm like, sunshine. I'm like picturing this column of like sky going straight up through the storm, and I see sun coming through. And then I was like, well, maybe I should do a dome of protection over this whole area, because you said your car was here. And I'm like, oh, I got to protect both cars now. So anyway, I just imagined this dome over everything. And I was just totally kind of in trance. And I kind of just out of the corner of my eye could see you were doing something, and kind of looking to see what I was doing. And then you're pulling out your phone, and sure enough, you tell me what you saw on the phone.
Yeah, so we back in there. Kyle was like, oh, we gotta manifest this away. And then literally it was like he just left his body. He just goes, and I'm sitting there, so I pull up the radar, and it's showing like a pink and a yellow, and the storm is like our location, and our location's here, and the storm is coming across, and then all of a sudden it just goes, it just starts going up, and it was at the point where it says now, so it has like the time before, now, and then the time after, and it's coming to now, and then it just starts going up.
And the hail stopped.
Yeah, and the hail stopped. And then I showed you. Yeah, it was.
That's awesome, man. I love those little synchronicities.
Yeah.
It's cool.
It makes life fun. It makes everything, even rain, hail, Memphis, Tennessee, head into Nashville. It's an adventure.
Yeah. Well, I know I'm really, really excited to be at this retreat. We talked about it being our 6th, and everyone is a little different for me, and I know you've said the same thing. And I just want. I just want it to be special, you know, and I was thinking about, you and I've mentioned that, you know, people are coming, it's all the hustle and bustle when they get there. If it's their first event, they're stressed. They're like, okay, I need to plan this out, get my planogram out. Okay, you know, and you even mentioned some people are like, I got to work while I'm here. And it's like, no, 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 no. You need to put all that away. This is, this is the unknown. You're stepping in the unknown, and you need to really be timeless. And so I was just thinking about that, and you know, I felt that, you know, when I go to the retreats, I felt that way. I felt harried, I felt stressed, and maybe I should speak past tense, it took me a couple days. So I want this time to go in with that love right here. I want to be prepared when I get there and feel that love, and yes. That's what I'm anticipating, I'm excited about, is being in a group of people that large that are feeling that kind of love, you know, that you don't normally see anywhere else.
Yes. Yes.
So.
And one of the tricks I learned in Colombia as a volunteer is about a day or two in, I just started smiling at everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not that I didn't want to smile at people.
Yeah.
I just didn't even realize that I'm not smiling at people. So I started smiling more, and that became infectious. It changed the energy.
Yep.
I would smile at somebody, they'd smile back at me, and so I decided, even when I went home, I was like, I'm just gonna smile and be kind to more people.
Yeah.
And that helped, that, you know, kind of change that energy in my life and those interactions.
So what do you think about this setup? Usually we're behind computer screens.
Yeah,
what do you think, brother?
This is totally different. Yeah, it's totally different. Normally I'm looking at you on the computer screen, and now I'm thinking about looking here.
Looking at the camera?
Yes, I like it though. I mean, I love how we can just jump in, do this, talk about stuff. It's super exciting.
Well, for those of y'all tuning in, you know, we're going to put this out tonight. We're just wanting to share the vibe and the energy of being, you know, this event coming up, and the excitement. It's late here. You can kind of tell we might be a little tired, but, you know, we're rocking and rolling.
Let's go.
Brian, our scholarship awardee, Brian, he registered for Denver Weeklong.
Yep.
And I'm really excited to share the news when we hit 5,000 subscribers. I'm going to take my own money and do another scholarship for another candidate. So I'd like to have you all, if you're interested in being a candidate, please send us a email and just let us know about yourself and what you know of Dr. Joe's work and what you've been doing for yourself along the way, and that email is dispenzachats@gmail.com. And we also have that GoFundMe page out there that we're looking for other folks to help, you know, donate, to send other people to Dispenza events. And that's Salty7, it's GoFundMe.com/Salty7. And we'll also post that on the video later. But something that was on my mind earlier, we were talking a little bit about is, don't you suppose it's going to leave my mind at this moment? Telling your story. You know, we've talked a lot about that, and you know, I'm going to admit that sometimes I'm a little slow learner on some things. You know, I can be really smart in some areas, but you know, it's like I could hear 5 different people tell me the same thing, and then all of a sudden the 6th person tells me the same thing, and it clicks, you know. And so that was kind of what you did for me when you were talking to me in private. You were just like, you know, what's your story? And I made a comment or something, and you said, that's a beautiful story, Kyle. Keep telling that story. And then, of course, as the universe would have it, the next morning, I think it was, doing my normal routine, drinking coffee, watching some YouTube videos, and Abraham Hicks videos start popping up on my YouTube. Never watched them before. You know, I believe it's the universe. Yep. Boom, Kyle, here's a new journey for your spiritual journey for you. And so I started diving down that. And
that's a deep hole.
It can be. But she talked about telling your story.
Yep.
And I'm like, whoa, synchronicity.
Yep.
So, you know, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay. You know, I believe that we are creators, right?
Yep.
And I believe we create both good and bad. So if we're walking around our day with negative thoughts, that's telling a story too, right?
Yes.
And so some of the things that you were kind of coaching me on and guiding me on, and you know, we kind of coach each other sometimes, and
Yes.
and it's like, okay, what is the story we're telling right now? And you know, we could be like, oh man, like we were we were trying to park the car, right? And I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have to walk, we're parked way far away, we're gonna have to run in the rain. And you're like, no, Kyle, everything works out for us all the time.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I love you, man. And sure enough, we didn't have to park very far away. There was a spot right there under a light, you know. I'm like, this is beautiful. So just share for a few minutes your thoughts around that subject, you know,
Yes.
telling your story.
Yes, absolutely. You know, we tell our stories in so many angles of our life. Like the programming runs deep. We tell stories in traffic. We tell stories at the grocery store. We tell stories in our personal relationships. We tell stories in our outer relationships. We tell stories with our children, with our past,
Yep.
with our lives, with our jobs. It's literally, our stories are woven into every single fabric.
Let me interrupt you though.
Yeah.
Are some of those stories maybe not even our own? Maybe it was our
Yeah.
parents or our parents' parents that kind of got passed down.
Absolutely, our parents' parents that got passed down. Also, I think of them too like fish stories. You know, if you go catch this fish, and
They get bigger.
and you come back and you caught this fish.
And maybe you never caught a fish
So,
at all.
You know, when it comes to say maybe a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
It's life is traumatic, right?
Yeah.
Birth, when you're born, is traumatic, and everything that happens after that can be this. There's positive and negative experiences. But let's say if you got when I was a kid, I got stung by a wasp, and as that went on in my life, it was I got stung by 5 wasps. It was I couldn't move, an entire hornet's nest stung me. And
Yeah.
it just keeps growing because I want to keep validating that story. And it's like, there's a wasp. Why are you scared of wasp? Because I got stung by like a whole nest of wasps when I was a kid.
But that never happened.
That never happened. It was one wasp, and I don't even remember it.
Yeah.
And I've told this story, and that story, and that it's like, what is it? Maybe 10% of it's true.
Right.
And it's just a story that I'm telling myself over and over. Or if I'm in the traffic and there's a car, so that's why I practice. These are the places that it really comes down to practice. When you're in traffic and you start to think, oh, this traffic's in the way, I can't get here. like why are they driving like this? And then I start analyzing. Why is this person driving like maybe 60? I mean, a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter, right?
I'm laughing because I was doing the same dumb
Yes,
thing, and my wife
exactly.
is over there saying, Kyle, just settle down. Quit stressing out.
Yes. Well, then as I'm telling that story, more
Yeah.
of that's happening.
You're manifesting
You're
it.
manifesting that.
Yep.
But if I say,
Yep.
if I just relax and practice in that moment to get in heart coherence,
Yeah.
and just to be like, I'm okay. I'm right here. I'm safe. I'm in a vehicle transporting me down the highway.
Yeah.
I'm okay right here. And then it seems to open up.
So, dude, the other day I was heading to the gym where I live, and there's this one place where I got to go on this like wide turn, and then I got to go 4 lanes over. And it's usually in the morning. There's a bunch of people coming into town for, you know, the morning rush hour. And so I always kind of hate that spot because either I got to slowly get over and go way down, turn around and come back, or I got to just take kind of a dangerous maneuver and zip across. So this one morning I'm coming around the corner and I'm like, oh crap, I said, and then I caught myself, right? So this is the story that I was telling, and I said, no, let me change the story. And I said, I bet you it's going to be wide open. Would you not believe that's exactly what happened? I just started laughing, and right as I was about to go zipping across, I looked one more time back because I knew that there was this opening, but I couldn't see any more cars coming. There's kind of a little rise over where the cars would be coming. And I look one more time, and there's this whole pack of cars coming. So it was just this little window,
Yes.
just for me.
Yes.
That's how I feel. And I was
Yeah,
like, that
it
is
is.
so awesome.
It is.
I really, you know?
Yeah.
So stories. So we have our traumatic emotional experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a story or a set of stories that we tell. And I know in your testimonial, I think you mentioned how you stopped telling the story. You had this story that you kept saying and kept bringing up, and you finally got to a point where it's like, okay, that's not my story anymore. And so those are stories, but what about just the everyday stories, like the one I mentioned about dealing with this, trying to get over in this one spot? I've been visiting with my wife too. It's like, you know, okay, what story are you saying right now? And I just, it's kind of helping one another. Like if I'm listening to you, you're in the forest, can't see the forest for the trees.
Yes.
I'm outside, I have a clearer head, I'm not looking through the lens of emotion, I can see exactly what's going on. I had a situation where a friend called me the other day, and it was like we had 180 role reversal where I would call him, and I'd be, oh, and he's like, dude, this is easy, quit being frustrated, you know, and then he called me, and I'm like, ha, 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 ha. Dude, this is easy, quit being frustrated, you know.
Yes.
But it's so funny how that works. When we're in it,
Yes.
you know, we have a hard time pulling ourselves out and looking at it. So, you know, the story, we can tell ourselves stories and not realize that it's a negative version of the story, you
Yes.
know? And how can we spend that? So what's your thoughts about that?
So, I mean, I think it's important that we have community, that we have friends, because when I'm in this seat of consciousness, right, I can't see what's around me. But if I call you, you can see it clear as day. And the same for you. When you're in your seat of consciousness, you can't see. You start to, because it's that separation, right? I always say I believe the lie again, and the lie is that we're separate. And when we're separate, then I think people are doing things intentionally. So a quick question, even the question I asked you is, how would you like to see this story?
You did, yeah.
And how do you want to see it? And you described to me how you wanted to see it, and then I said, keep telling that one. And that's the truth, because if you describe how you want to see something, then that's what's going to reflect back.
As I described that to you, I was having emotions of joy and pleasantry that I was feeling. And so Abraham Hicks, another video I watched where she's talking about telling the story, this lady asks her a question. She said, I'm 43 years old. I want to get married. I just broke up with a long-term relationship. I have no children. I want kids. She's like, I'm only getting older. And so Abraham Hicks was like, well, you know, stop you right there. You know, I sense separation in your voice. And I'll keep it kind of concise, but basically she wants this really, really bad. And she doesn't have it. So she's focusing on what is, like what's the present. And I do that all the time, you know. And she said, when you want something really, 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 really bad, it's always in your face that you don't have it.
Yes.
And, you know, in this particular hypothetical or real situation for this lady, you know, every time she sees two people kissing, you know, she's going to be like, oh man, I really want a relationship. Or every time she sees kids running down the hall, she's like, oh, I really want to have a kid, you know. And so the question was brought up, well, when that happens, how do you deal with that? How do you manage that? And you basically, when it's like that, I'm trying to think of how exactly she said it. You look at that moment and you just find joy in that moment, right? You don't get upset or frustrated that, you know, you don't have that. You just know that that's a beautiful moment. I don't feel like I'm really giving that justice. What are your thoughts around that?
It's like whenever I'm saying I want, what I'm really telling the universe is I don't have, that's the vibration. So when I say I don't have, the universe echoes back to me, reflects back to me, and says, you don't have, you don't have, you don't have.
Yep. That's the negative manifestation.
That's the negative manifestation. It doesn't understand my words I want. It just understands the vibration of lack as that I don't have. Whenever I assume that it's already done, that it's fulfilled, and I'm seeing other people enjoy. I'm so happy for their love. I'm not in that state of lack. I'm becoming the things that I desire. Then it just, I'm telling the universe that I have this. I'm saying I already have love. I already have wholeness. I already have, because that's what it is. That's what we're seeking, is wholeness and love. And I'm saying I already have this. So instead of saying I want, I'm saying I have. Universe reflects back, you have.
And this may kind of help fill the basket on this subject, because another Abraham Hicks video, she was talking about the journey and not so much the destination. That's my words, okay? I'm paraphrasing what I got out of this content. But essentially, we want what we want, and we want it right now. And then once we get it, we're not really that satisfied with it, and we move on to something else. And she always talks about the sweet spot. And the sweet spot, in her opinion, is, you know, for a lack of a better word, the lead up to it, right? All the stuff that's going on, the training, so to speak, the dealing with your emotions, and in going through everything we were just talking about, where instead of saying I want and I don't have, and the negative vibrations that we're sending out to the universe because of that thought process, switching that around to a positive thought process and just feeling it, like Dr. Joe says, feeling it inside, like you already have it.
Yes.
And that's the journey that leads up to the destination. I have been accused a lot, especially by my wife, of just never really being happy because I've always wanted something, I get it, and then I'm not happy.
Yes.
And so
because the way that you're placing your happiness is forward. So you're saying, when I have this, then I'll be happy.
Yeah.
And so if you place your happiness out there, once you get that, your happiness is still forward. So it's always like a carrot in front of you. So instead of choosing in the present moment now, which all exist, I'm happy. And when I'm happy now.
Mm-hmm.
Then it doesn't matter what experience, I'm happy now. And so when something that I desire comes my way, I'm still happy in this moment. I'm not constantly looking for the next carrot. But I did that too. I still do it. So.
Well, we're going to make this one a little bit shorter, kind of wrap it up because we are tired, got an early morning tomorrow. But Josh, just so excited to be here with you and excited about your journey and volunteering. And I need to let everybody know I'm going to be volunteering in Denver week long. I'm so excited. I was like, yes! So, just really excited about that. And, give us just a real quick, 1-2 minute update on where you're at with your training and your new business that's coming along.
Okay, yeah, so I was just recently accepted into Neuro Solutions.
Yeah.
It's still a very long process. It's a very long process. But I'm going to be trained in Neuro Solutions and consulting.
Yeah.
I just started a business called InnerQuest Consulting.
Yep.
To help house this new venture and to help veterans and other people, and I'm just really excited about it, to take
awesome.
this step into my new story,
And it's all seeming to just fall into place.
Yes, absolutely.
And isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful.
I mean, it just gives us so much confidence.
Yes, I didn't have to go out and do matter to matter. I just meditated. I just did the work. I just showed up. I showed up a lot.
Yeah.
Surrendered, ask questions, be coachable, do the best I can, and talk about it. And that
awesome.
It's showing up. So.
And I'll tell you, awesome things are unfolding for the Salty 7 channel. We've got some exciting guests coming up in the next few weeks to a month. And if anyone out there, I mean, we're not biased. I mean, it's fun to get some of these folks that are in the mythical realm, if you will, that really study the history and everything. It's just awesome. But this channel is really just about getting the message out. And we don't script this. I don't know if y'all know that, but we just talk, let the universe guide. And it is so much fun. We talk about so many different things that are really near and dear to our hearts.
Yes.
We trust that the message is going to somebody watching that needs to hear it. So anyway, we're really excited about that. And just want to say we love you guys and just keep helping us out. If you want to come on the show and visit with us about your experiences, your spiritual journey, I mean, that's really what this is about, just sharing the spiritual journey. So just let us know in the Dispenza chats at gmail.com. So Josh, thank you, bud. Appreciate you, man. And we love you guys. Take care. Have a great night.